Something unthinkable is happening with 4-time Formula 1 champion Max Verstappen and his team, Oracle Red Bull Racing right now. They are drifting apart. Things have happened in the last few seasons that make it hard for both parties to continue. I think Max Verstappen is on his way out. And most shockingly, Red Bull is fine with it. I'm Wimbo. Here's 3 seconds to leave a like. I made a video recently about Max Verstappen being very unhappy with Red Bull and their decision to swap Liam Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda 2 races into the 2025 season. He confirmed this when he was asked about it at the Japanese Grand Prix. He said that his liking the Guido van der Garde Instagram post wasn't by accident and that it spoke volumes about how he felt about it. The former Caterham driver, fellow Dutchman Guido van der Garde, said that the swap looked more like a move out of panic and resembled bullying. I love how Max just gets his opinion out like that without fear or backlash from the team. He said he had spoken about it all internally and he said that he wanted to keep that indoors. Well, fair enough. To me, this hints that Verstappen is moving away from the Red Bull team despite him saying he's not concerned with that at the moment. I'm still amazed at Christian Horner talking to Sky Sports F1 and still managed to talk about drivers even when asked about the situation with the technical departments. Instead of saying Pierre Waché and his crew were missing Newey and dropped the ball, he talked about how dedicated Max Verstappen is to getting the team up front again by doing sim runs and talking to the department in England. He even blamed the Yuki-Liam swap on the technical staff, saying they hadn't trusted Lawson for the technical feedback. Well, Liam Lawson just beat Tsunoda in qualifying in Japan. Not a good look, to be honest. In any case, this video is about Max Verstappen and his possible exit. Despite his amazing pole position in Japan, there is growing unrest. Is Max Verstappen's towering presence and relentless drive for more titles clashing with the Red Bull's evolving long-term plans? Will it lead to a potential move? Let's look at Red Bull's problems and plans first. The first domino to fall in this story was the main Red Bull man himself. Ever since Dieter Mateschitz died in 2022, things have gone downhill. Thanks to a power vacuum, Red Bull Racing found itself in a power struggle that had the Thai majority shareholders on one side, together with team principal Christian Horner, against the Austrian fraction who had motorsport advisor Helmut Marko as the main man. Mateschitz, the co-founder and 49% owner of Red Bull GmbH, had been the guy who had control over the company's sporting decisions despite the Thai Yovidia family owning 51% majority stake. He was the glue that held Red Bull Racing together. His passing left a leadership vacuum and all the tensions that had built up over the years, all the personal ambitions of people in the team had come to the surface. It was the Thai side that wanted a more business-like mindset for both Red Bull teams, and Horner was the man to do it for them. This explains some of the driver choices over the years and that awful name the former Minardi Toro Rosso team has now. The Thai side, led by Chellam Yovidia, backed Horner to make the 2 Red Bull teams more centralized and more profitable. The Austrian side wanted to stay true to what Dieter Mateschitz had outlined all those years ago. Their sporting achievements were the main priority. And that would be great for the brand name of Red Bull. A Red Bull family where young talent could have a start in the junior team to be nurtured to succeed. Now, I can hear you think,
hey, not many talents succeed at Red Bull anymore.
But that's due to other reasons, which I'll discuss later. The Austrian side wanted Mateschitz' motorsport first philosophy to be upheld, and Helmut Marko, lifelong friend and confidant of Mateschitz, was there to oversee that philosophy. With Dieter Mateschitz's death, a special arrangement that gave him outsized control over sporting decisions despite his minority stake ended, shifting power to the Thai majority. This made Christian Horner a lot more daring in his ways, knowing he was backed by 51% of the leadership. So when all these issues popped up, the clash between Horner and Marko heated up. Horner didn't like Marko's outspoken ways, as he was pretty smooth and silver-tongued himself. Horner blocked a young driver coming in to get Ricciardo a seat, which helped with that big new sponsor. The comments of Marko about Checo Perez being South American and therefore a little less stable was a reason for Horner to try and get rid of Marko. If it wasn't for Max Verstappen protecting Marko by saying, if he goes, I go, then the Austrian consultant would have been out. Marco doesn't have the last say in driver lineups anymore since then. Then, at the start of 2024, the news broke that Horner was accused of inappropriate behavior towards a female personal assistant. He was cleared of that on 2 occasions, but there's still a court case coming in the British court about that in 2026. In these 2 events, Max Verstappen backs Marco, and Hornergate caused a truce between the bickering parties. It still feels uneasy, and I can sense the groups aren't always aligned, but they are making it work, for now, to help Max Verstappen win prizes. Again, for now. Red Bull lost a lot of prospects and great staff because of the civil war. It turns out that Christian Horner doesn't mind letting great names go and opportunities pass to get what he wants in the long run. Christian Horner described himself as a terrier once. Or maybe it was Toto Wolff who called him a yapping terrier. I can't remember. Maybe it was both. One thing is clear, and that's that you don't want to come between a pit bull terrier and its bone. Horner has sunk his teeth into getting what he wants, and he's not about to let go, no matter the consequences. The first time we could notice this was when Porsche and Red Bull almost had a deal for a huge collaboration. However, Porsche wanted to buy into the F1 team and wanted a 50% stake, and that was too much power that Horner and Red Bull wanted to part with. So the deal for Porsche to come in as a manufacturer fell through, and a new deal was forged with Ford. Now when this happened, Mateschitz was still alive, and he also preferred to have their independence. But I wonder if there was no wriggle room at all to create a deal as they have with Ford now. I'm sure Horner wasn't interested in that with Porsche. The next big name to go was Adrian Newey. The man who had created many winning cars left the team for Aston Martin. People close to him have said that there was some sort of fallout between Horner and Newey. The PA who sued Horner was also Newey's PA for a time, so I'm sure he knows the ins and outs. Newey hates internal politics, and throughout his career he has left teams for that reason. Horner played the part where he said he was sorry to see him go and nice farewells were said, but I can't shake the feeling that Newey wasn't on Horner's side when it came to his plans for the future. So Horner wasn't too upset to see him go, especially for the money headache it saved the team. Jonathan Wheatley was another big name in the success of Red Bull who left the team. He had ambitions to become team principal, a position he could have been given during the Horner affair. And then he got his dream job at Audi. He started working there recently. Another case of Horner not wanting to give power to someone else. Red Bull is his and his alone, it seems. It's clear to see there's a pattern. Anyone who stands between Horner and his ambitions can go. Or in Marco's case, can stay while there's an uneasy truce. I'm afraid the next one on his list to go is Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen was asked at the Japanese Grand Prix if it was the last season where he would drive a Honda power unit in Japan. He laughed and said, "It's been a ride that I enjoyed a lot. I want to try and just enjoy the weekend. Try to go as fast as I can. But it's more about also just remembering all that we have achieved together in the sport, and who knows, of course, in the future as well. It's for now like a goodbye, but that's it. I'm still quite young, and you never know what happens in the future." I take this as a hint of him leaving Red Bull and joining Aston Martin. We know Lawrence Stroll is very ambitious with his F1 team, and it's known they want him. Adrian Newey has always regretted that he had little say in driver lineups. It's the reason why he left Williams, who sacked Nigel Mansell against his wishes. I am certain he will push Stroll to get Verstappen in that British green car. Ken Watanabe, the Honda boss, also said he wants to work with Verstappen again in the future. I think there may have been talks already with everyone involved, even Red Bull. This explains why Max Verstappen is so relaxed about losing the championship. Because I kid you not, it's not going to happen with how things are going now. McLaren is way too strong, and Mercedes looks better too. It's Verstappen's relentless push for performance that has given Horner, Red Bull and their plans a headache. What if the Red Bull powertrains department makes a slow engine? What if Pierre Waché doesn't really know how to work the active aero on the new 2026 cars? There's no way they can keep Max Verstappen happy and give Ford, the technical team and Red Bull powertrains time to sort things out. This would give their underperformance way too much attention, as the focus is always on Max Verstappen for the media. This would be a lot less with different drivers, 2 drivers with lesser qualities. Max Verstappen won't settle for mid results. He said on many occasions he's there to win. If not, he'd rather go do something else. For Horner and the Thai side's ambition, not having the high demands of a star driver and the critical eye of the press would be a blessing for them to slowly build to another era of dominance. So what I think will happen is either they can't get the RB21 to work, Verstappen's performance clause is activated and he can walk away, or they just come to a mutual agreement. This strategic deal would work out for Verstappen and for Red Bull. Max will walk away to a better team to pursue more glory, and Red Bull won't feel defeated by losing another big name. They would feel empowered by the freedom it gives them and see it as a chance to start from a clean slate. Subscribe! Take care now! Doei doei!